So today I have in for review Christopher Ward's recent release of the C60 #Tide watch. This is a watch that was made in collaboration with #Tide, and it has a #Tide strap on it, which is made out of upcycled ocean plastic. So it is recycled ocean plastic that is made into a premium strap. Now, if you are not familiar with these straps, they are actually very nice. I've featured a few watches on the channel with their straps, and they are very, very nice. And I believe that they are donating a portion of the profits for every strap sold to a foundation called the Blue Marine Foundation, which helps combat overfishing. So I'm going to get it right into it. This is a COSC certified watch. You're getting a COSC certification booklet here. It just goes through the watch, its serial number, and all the information on its actual testing, which is really nice. And they include that in a separate folder because I guess it will not actually fit into the box. The box is a really great box. It is a recycled box, sort of in keeping with this theme. However, all of their boxes are recycled, so it comes with bamboo and leatherette. It's like a vegan leather. It's a very heavy box. It acts like a drawer, so you just pull this out and you put aside the actual leather part or leatherette part. Inside, you get a watch, but you have also the information on the watch, so it's 60/60 guarantee. Again, something that a lot of micro brands don't do. 60 days of return, 60 months of warranty. That is a lot from a micro brand. Technically, I would say Christopher Ward are not really a micro brand anymore. They're moving in a different direction, maybe a major brand. But inside here is a microfiber cloth, which is branded Christopher Ward. And here is the watch. So this is the #Tide Christopher Ward C60. It's coming in at 42 millimeters is what I've measured. 42 millimeters if you're measuring without those crown guards. So it's like 42, so 41.9 is what I'm measuring right now. But if you measure with those crown guards, it is a little bit bigger than that. It's like 43 millimeters. It doesn't wear like a 43 millimeter. Lug to lug on here is a very good lug to lug of, I believe it was around, 49 millimeters is what I measured. So 49.5. I think I measured 49 before. I guess it just depends on where I'm measuring it on the actual lug. And then 14.6 millimeters thick. That's including the slightly raised sapphire crystal. But speaking of sapphire crystal, this gets a sapphire crystal dial with a wave pattern on there. And that wave pattern is Lume. So we're going to do a Lume shot at the end. It looks pretty incredible. You get a really nice bezel on here. Bezel action is excellent. It is ceramic, of course, but you also have sort of a little track that's in steel that is in between that raised sapphire crystal and the actual ceramic of the actual bezel, which looks really good. Screwed in crown, screwed in case back. Case back is closed on here, and then they have that little hashtag for #Tide. #Tide again on the strap. We'll talk about the strap in just a second. Then you have a piece of plastic in here that is actually just sort of like a little insert that goes into the case back. That is also made out of recycled ocean plastic, which is very nice. The strap is thick. It's like a double thick nylon strap that has a little black and white stripe that goes right down the middle, as you can see. Kind of understated, but really thick and needs to be worked in and broken in. These, I've actually owned watches with these on here, and you do need to wear these and actually wear them for a little while before they break in. They're actually very, very thick. They're double thick. You do get quick release on here, and then, of course, the buckle is your typical Christopher Ward signed buckle. Beautiful buckle on here as well. You have brushing and bead blasting on it. Really nicely finished. They actually finished the underside of the buckle, which is something that I like to mention. Of course, the Christopher Ward light catcher case is awesome. I believe there's a little bit of ocean plastic in the actual crown. We'll do a close-up of that as well. Crown is signed, and this one has that hashtag as well, so it's not the typical Christopher Ward signed crown either. So they've gone the extra mile in really theming this to the #Tide, which I like. But the Christopher Ward light catcher case is really needs no upgrades or updates. I love this case. I recently bought my first Christopher Ward, which was not discounted. Christopher Ward did not give me anything. I like them so much. I bought my own. I bought the dive timer. It was a limited edition. I think they limited it to like 250 or 150. I got it on the bracelet. It's just an incredible, incredible watch. I love that watch. Same sort of case as this. It's a little bit less modern, I would say. It's more of or a less modern look. It's more of a vintage look. This is their more modern case, the C60. That's a C65. But either way, you're getting brushing, polishing, bead blasting, crisp transitions between all three of those. Just incredible. The top of the case is brushed. You have polishing on the actual lip of the bezel. You have polishing all on the bottom of the case, but it does not actually lead to the bottom of the case itself is actually brushed. Then the actual case back has all three finishing too. You get bead blasting on the outer edge, then polishing, then brushing. It's pretty incredible. So there's a lot going on in this case. I would imagine a lot of money goes into finishing these cases, and especially to the level that they are finished. It is really nice. It is on par with much more expensive watches out there. Now, the dial itself is pretty awesome. Like I said, it has that wave pattern. It has Christopher Ward there in the center of the dial. A lot of people go back and forth on the fact that it even says Christopher Ward. They're rather just a logo, and I get that. I don't mind Christopher Ward on the dial. The one I have as well has that. It really doesn't bother me. You have a date there. It is color matched there at the 6 o'clock. You have applied indices. Those are lumed, and then you get lumed hands on here. I believe that the bezel is not lumed. However, we will do a check at the end, of course, to show you guys the lume on this watch. All of it is X1 BL C1 filled, so you're getting really high grade super luminova on this watch. And I'm going to tell you, the lume shot is going to be good because Christopher Ward really never let down with the lume. It's always really, really good. So very quickly, I'm going to throw it on my wrist. I'll show you what I have on. I'll talk about price, and then we will do that quick lume shot. But today I am wearing Dunn watches. This is a micro brand as well that I think is on the higher end of the micro brand scale. Has a really cool movement in here. I think this is the SW400, I think it's called. I don't actually remember the exact movement, but it is a larger movement. So it's an SW200 that is enlarged, so you could see you get a lot more real estate to actually look at the movement. It's actually a really cool watch. So hashtag tied on my 7.5-inch wrist. 42 millimeter watch. It wears like a 42 millimeter watch. It might wear a smidge bigger because of those crown guards. The strap does take a while to actually break in, but you can see on my 7.5-inch wrist, it doesn't wear huge. The thickness in that 14 millimeter range, not including that sapphire crystal, it's like 14.10 millimeters. It's a little bit bigger with that. Just really nice. Just a really nice watch. This on the strap as it is, I think is $1,095. It's a little bit, just a smidge more than the 40 millimeters on a strap. So if you want to get a sapphire like the new orange that they came out with, the blue, or the smoky gray black, which is one of my favorites, I have to tell you. They are all pretty awesome. This is obviously in a 42 millimeter case. Those are all in a 40 millimeter case. You could buy one of these straps off of the Christopher Ward website for your watch. And in fact, I'm going to be doing that because I like these straps. So if you have one of the sapphire dials and you want one of these straps or any of Christopher Ward's watches, or really any watch, you can get them, and they come with a buckle and everything. They're really pretty much, they're worth it. And they're also donating a portion of that to a pretty good charity that helps with overfishing, so a worthy cause as well. I just noticed that the actual second hand, that little trident, is also in like a bluish color, which is pretty nice. Let's do the bezel action also before we do a lume shot. Christopher Ward are strong with a few different points, and I always bring this up when I do reviews on them. Bezel action, always on point. Everything lines up. It feels really good, very solid. Just excellent bezel action. Really good lume. They do a great job with lume on most of their watches. Some of their non-sport watches don't have great lume, but Usually watches like this have excellent lume. And case finishing. The case finishing, value for money versus the case finishing versus, it's just phenomenal. Really one of the best. When people ask me about watches, I always point them towards Christopher Ward. However, giving watch advice is tough because people always want something with a name brand, and not a lot of people recognize the name Christopher Ward, but I think that will change in the future. In my opinion, I think they are really doing something pretty incredible, and I think people are going to start recognizing that outside of the watch community, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm going to take it off my wrist, I'm going to charge it, and then we'll do a quick lume shot so you guys can see that lume pattern on that dial, that sort of wave pattern dial. Again, $1,095 on this strap. I believe you can opt to get a bracelet as well. I always do that, and I would get the strap as an extra, changing it out on the strap once in a while. But this is part of the package here, so I think you need to get the strap because it is a hashtag tied watch. Anyway, quick lume shot, and then we'll wrap up the video. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm going to make this the card for this video because this is ridiculous. This is awesome. It almost looks like tiger stripes, but it is definitely a wave pattern. It's just insane. If you're wearing this watch in the sun and then you go into like a dark restaurant or something like that, people are going to see this on your wrist. It's insanely bright. So the indices, they're bright. The hands are bright. I didn't know that the bezel was lumed also. That dial, just the pattern looks awesome. It's a little bit dimmer than the rest, but that makes sense to me, and it's printed directly on that sapphire dial. 42 millimeters, 600 meters of water resistance, tons of lume, and special lume at that. Just looks pretty amazing. It really does look pretty crazy in person. But tell me what you guys think of this watch in the comments below. I really want to hear from you guys. I think that Christopher Ward do an excellent job. I will be wearing this, and I'm going to do a sort of a group review of this watch plus the other 3 sapphire crystal dial watches that I have for review from Christopher Ward. So that's the orange dial, the blue dial, and that smoky black dial. It's like a smoke black dial. And then, of course, this watch, which is the hashtag tied. I'll do a group review. I have to tell you, I do have favorites. I have not really worn this yet, so I will be wearing it, and I will give you guys the full report. Anyway, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in